This is filmmaker Susana Casares. She is the writer, director, producer of the short film Tryouts, a very interesting film about a young girl wearing hijab. So, Susana, first of all, you do not have the experience of being a hijabi girl, but I want to know what inspired you to tell this particular story.
Well, I've lived abroad many years. I'm originally from Spain, and I think I have a very deep understanding of what it means to try to fit it in a culture that is not exactly the culture you're brought up with. So, and I've also felt always very close to the Islamic tradition.
I know that this film has been a labor of love and one that's taken quite a while, but I know that you also just told me that the film won a Student Emmy, so congratulations. How does it feel to finally feel like, it has come to fruition and people have not just accepted it, but have really given it the credit that you probably feel it deserves?
Well, it actually makes me feel really happy because, as you said, it was a lot of work and a lot of people helping out and a lot of friends and family and people who didn't know me just wanted to see the film made. And, an Emmy is a big thing, and it will also allow us to make this short film into a feature. And it's also very interesting for me because it is a validation as well of the story, like that there's people here who care to know what happens to a Muslim teenager in this country. And for me, that was, very exciting.
With us is Howard Gordon, writer and producer of 24 and now Homeland. And I know you guys are getting ready to start your third season of Homeland, correct?
Yes, that's right.
That's pretty awesome. Homeland has been incredibly successful. I know there's a lot of touchy subjects in both shows, and I know Homeland's gotten a bit of controversy, but I want to talk to you about your experience with it, and especially with how close you are working and engaging organizations such as MPAC.
Well, my first experience, I'd say, being brought to task in terms of some of the content of our show was on 24, and I first met Salam Al-Mariati back it must be about 10 years now, almost. And look, obviously, to whatever extent the subject matter I deal with is controversial, I really am grateful that it's been an opportunity to engage and create a dialogue on certain subjects that are, I think, important to not just to the East-West dialogue, but also to the subject of what it is to be an American in terms of the rights that we're a lot of our shows really deal with the messy stuff that we're all dealing with.
So do you feel like enough producers and writers actually go out and make the effort to find out and research enough or engage enough before writing shows and so on?
Well, I think Hollywood is a fairly parochial environment. I mean, it's pretty much of an island. It's sort of cut off not only from the rest of the world, but the rest of the country. So I think sometimes it's easy for us to sort of get stuck in the work of creating television. So I don't think enough writers do pay enough attention to the power that their content and their shows have.
The impact.
And the impact. And I think that we actually do have some responsibility without being propaganda. We are one of America's great exports into the world, and people see America through some of the shows we create and some of the stories we tell. So it's a personal goal of mine to sort of help just make my fellow writers and producers aware of that idea that their voice has a pretty wide impact.